I was going to go ahead and do a quick, just a very basic video of map navigation, understanding how to navigate the world map and how to navigate using State of the Realm or .rvr, and basically help you decide where to go, why you should go there, and just the basic understanding of how that world works. Start out, what we're going to look at first of all is the actual map system. So starting out, how it works is that once you're level 16, you basically are eligible to start doing tier 2. So tier 2, each pairing has a tier 2. So in Empire we're at right now, we start off with Troll Country, Oslan. Once one of those keeps, it does not matter which keep is taken, it will then proceed over to High Pass. Again, once one, either High Pass or Tablik Land, what doesn't matter. Once one of these keeps are then taken, it will then progress over into Prague. And this is for the Empire Chaos pairing. If we look at the Dwarf pairing, it goes Barak Var, and then it'll go over to Blackfire Pass or Badlands, and then it'll go over to Thunder Mountain. And then on the final one, it starts off in Shadowlands, Elrond, and then once one of those keeps, again, does not matter if it's a Destro or Order keep, that will then progress over to Avalor and Safari. Again, once one of those keeps is taken, it does not matter. It will then proceed over to Dragonwake. Now, once it proceeds into the tier 4 zone, this is where the first time it actually matters who takes a keep. So in the High Elf, Dark Elf pairing that we're looking at right now, what will happen is that if, for example, the Destro keep here is taken and captured, then what will happen is in that pairing, it will then go over to Kalador. And then if the Destro pairing in Kalador is then taken, it will then go over to the pairing that's next up to that, which would be the Fort. If the Fort isn't captured by order, it will then basically lock that zone, and that pairing will be over with. What will then happen is that once two tier 4 pairings are locked by the same faction, City, may that either be IC or Altdorf, is then available for capture. So you must capture the entire pairing by one faction 2 times to make IC or Altdorf available. Now, some people are going to say, well, how do I decide where to go? So in this, for example, I'm using State of the Realm. State of the Realm will give you information of what zone is currently active, or zones is currently active, in the tier 2 to tier 4 pairing. So for example, as of right now, Dragonwake is active and Chaos Waste is active. You can tell right now that in Dragonwake, the Lord is under siege. And in Chaos Waste, the outer door of Destro Keep is under siege. Now you can tell that by the door right here on the right is blinking, which means that it's the outer door, and it shows 23%, which means that the level of that door, or the health of the door, is at 23%. It has now dropped down to 19. The Lord here is at 100%. So you're going to want to say, well, which zone do I want to go to? Which one is more important? Well, if we use State of the Realm, we can see that Dragonwake, the Lord's at 100% for Destro Keep. However, Order has 100%, 180% AAO. And we can tell that because of this stat right here that State of the Realm gives. And then we can also tell that in that zone, Order has 44 active people, not in a war camp, but actually in the zone, and Destro has 122 people. So if you are Destro, you could say, well, look, I'm not going to go there because this lord appears to already be effectively safe. So I'm not really needed there as of right now. However, maybe I want to go to this keep and help defend it, since as of right now the outer is at 3%. And Order has a population of 185 people to 92 Destro defenders. So maybe I want to go there. So, okay, how do I go to Chaos Waste? Now, I'm going to give you from the point of view of Order. So, in all major war camps of Tier 4, you're going to have a Flight Master. Now, I'm technically in a Tier 3 zone, but in all Tier 4s, you're going to have a Flight Master. So I can go ahead and fly to Chaos Waste. So you can see I'm here in Chaos Waste. So the first thing I'm going to do is when I'm in Chaos Waste, I'm going to open up my map and see which keep we have. So in this circumstance, as Order, my war camp is here. The Destro keep is the north one, and that's the one that's being under siege right now. So this is where you want to decide, how am I going to get there? Now, you can either go ahead and run this way and try to get there and, run with the group, run solo, or whatever you want to do. Or you can go ahead and also, if your faction is holding a BO, so for example, this BO or this BO, if somebody is actually there in your war camp, you can possibly port to a BO to maybe get a little bit closer. Now, if we look in the war camp here, we can see that there is no active port that I would have. It would be a white orb, and that would allow you to port to that BO. Now, again, your faction has to have somebody actively near that BO to have a port active. Okay? Now, again, if we look at this map, these crosses here, there is basically a fight happening near this area recently. So these are kind of like hot areas, hot zones. That's what that means. So you can say, okay, how am I going to get there now? I can either go ahead and mount up, and I can try to run there. Now, you also want to go ahead and try to figure out, just through time of playing, what is the best way of doing this. So for example, in this zone in Chaos Waste, I'm actually not going to run straight there. I'm going to take kind of like a PvE route, which is what the Shadow Warrior is kind of doing as well. So I'm going to climb up here. Effectively, I'm almost copying what the Shadow Warrior is doing. I'll go around this rock though. And what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to take all the way around, basically pop out somewhere around here. And then that will give me a better shot of maybe dropping down and getting into the keep that way. Now again, this is just from the Order point of view. Other zones, for example, like let's say Prague, again on Order side. If Prague Order keep, let's say, is this south keep right here. If this keep is being attacked, your options would either be maybe port to this BO if it is occupied by a Order member, and then run there. You could try to maybe take kind of a PvE route in a way and run there. Or you can fly to Reichland and then run north, which is what I usually prefer doing, and basically pop out right around here. As you can see, it connects, so you can run north, and then it basically pops you out, and you can try to sneak in the keep that way. So you kind of want to figure out what is the best way of doing things. Again, if we take an example of, let's say, in Cadrian Valley. So let's say if Cadrian Valley is being sieged. And let's say that you want to, let's say Order is attacking this southern keep right here. And you're in the war camp. Well, how are you going to get to the southern keep? Well, you could either run all the way through, either run this way around, or run this way around through the tunnel system and try to get there that way. That's two ways if you can do it. Or if one of these BOs is being occupied, again, physically by one of your members, you can port to one of these flags, either this one or that one, and then try to run. Or in KV, each faction has a Skaven tunnel just outside of the war camp area. So in Order, you can basically run to this road up here, and there's a Skaven tunnel up here. And what will happen is that Skaven tunnel will actually port you right around over here. And you can try to run to the keep that way. Or if this is Destro's keep, there's a Skaven tunnel right around this general vicinity. And that will actually port you basically right outside of the Order keep, right around this general vicinity, somewhere around over here, which will allow you to basically come down this road and get to this keep if you wanted to attack that. So that's if you wanted to basically try to figure out where you wanted to go and navigate that method. Something else you can also look into doing is that, okay, what about using the War Report? So War Report is a way that you can transfer on a limited use to an active zone. So in this example, if I click on a War Report, it says Zimmerman's Hold is under attack in Chaos Waste. Well, if I want to get there quickly to the general vicinity, you would click that, and then you would click Go. This will pop up, and you would hit Go. And it'll port you to the general vicinity of that region. So you can see I'm up here now in this PvE zone. So if I wanted to, I could take this PvE pathway and try to run and get as close as I can to the keep to try to get in. That is a general way that you could possibly try to do that. Another way that you can also do it is by binding. So depending on where you set up your binds at, and when I say binds, I'm talking about your book binds, your book of binding. You can bind this in war camps in zones. So for example, I have mine bound in High Pass. So if I click my book, it'll transport me to wherever I'm bound. We'll wait for that to load. And they'll support me at a High Pass. Once I'm in High Pass, this is where I'm bound. And again, you can bind by using the Rally Master. So if you click on the Rally Master, this will come up. You can set your rally point here. And this is where your book of binding, will bind you to. So wherever you hit the Rally Master is where it's going to bind you. So if you use your book, it'll port you to that location. I am bound here, so that way, if this keep is either under siege or needs to be defended, I'm right here. This is just a personal choice of mine, so that way I can get to this keep easily. But you can do that really in any zone. So for example, if I want to go to Prague, I'm going to port to Prague right now. And if I'm not near, let's say, a flight master, if I'm not near somebody, if War Report is not available, then I'm going to go ahead and use my Book of Binding. And then when you're here, you can go ahead and find the bind a merchant, just like we did in High Pass. And then you can bind here. And then you can use your Book of Binding to bind in this location if you wanted to. Another way that you can try to navigate around the map is if you are in a guild that has guild scrolls, you can use a guild scroll that will take you wherever you're at out of that area, and it'll port you into, for this example of Order, will port you into Sigmar's Hammer. Now this is an example of using the State of the Realm here. We can see right here that in Chaos Waste, there's 246 Order and around 207 Destro. The Lord is actually being attacked. The Lord's health is at 68%. So again, I know right here, this Lord is about to fall. So, going ahead and using the Guild Scroll. Now, again, to use the Guild Scroll, you need to actually be in a guild, just so you know. And then here in Altdorf, it flies you to Sigmar's Hammer. And then it takes you right here. And then here, if you wanted to, you could then grab this guy. And then you can port to whatever main war camp that you want to in the world. So if you wanted to, I could port, let's say, right back to, I don't know, let's say Blackcrag. I can port to Blackcrag that way. So, you know, if I'm in a PvE zone, if I don't have a way of getting to someplace quickly, if War Report's not available, if my Book of Binding's not available, then you can use your Guild Scroll to kind of help you get out of wherever you're at and to some place where you want to be a little bit quicker. Now, if you don't use State of the Realm as an add-on, because again, that is an add-on, you have to download this and install it to use this function. If you don't use that, you can also use a command called .rvr. Expand this out. Now, if you do .rvr, it tells you which zones are open. So in Tier 1, you have Blighted Isle Grace and Norska and Nordland are open. In Tier 4, it says Dragonwake is open. And then it says Chaos Waste is open. So this tells you that these two zones are the active zones. However, it does not tell you what's happening in those zones. So it's not telling you that the Lord is under siege in Chaos Waste. And it's not telling you that as of right now, Dragonwake is also under siege, just started on the outer door. It just tells you what is being done. It does tell you, however, the rank of the keep. So it does say that in here, in Dragonwake, Order Realm rank is 3, which that means 3 stars. And in Chaos Waste, it says 2, which again means 2 stars. And move back down there. Now, let me go ahead and explain the stars real quick. When I say stars, I'm talking about the stars of the keep. So again, using State of the Realm as an example here, you see little individual stars, and it says 3 right there. It says 1 there, and that shows captured, which means the Lord has been killed, and it is now captured. The stars mean, basically, it determines a couple different things. 1, it determines the defense HP of your gates. It also determines your offensive weapons if you're going to be an attacker. So to spawn a ram, you must have at least 2 stars. For your defensive keeps, if you have just 1 star or no stars, you're not going to have as many cannons available to help defend your keep. And you're not going to have your keep's gate is not going to be as strong, so it will go down a little bit faster. If you're at 3 stars for an attacker, again, it just means a little bit more cannons. 3 stars for defender means that the inner postern gate cannot be accessed by everybody. Only melee can get into the inner postern gate. So if the inner main gate goes down, the inner postern gate can only be accessed by melees that have a bypass defense ability. Your casters and everybody else cannot get in. If the defending keep is at 4 stars, then that means the inner postern gate and the outer postern gate are both locked, and it can only be accessed for both of them by melee with the defensive bypass ability. Everybody else will have to use the main outer gate to get in to that keep. If your faction hits 5 stars, then that faction that hits 5 stars on your keep can potentially lock that zone without taking the opposing faction's keep by hitting 5 stars, and then also locking or holding all 4 battlefield objectives or flags or BOs. Now, if you are an attacking side and you get to 4 stars, that also allows you to have 2 rams at the same exact time. So sometimes you will see factions go to 4 stars so they can pop 2 rams at the same time. Otherwise, if it's 3 stars or 2 stars, you can only pop 1 ram. If that ram dies, you must wait 10 minutes to spawn a new ram. Again here, since Chaos Waste has fallen, the Maw, which is a fortress, is now available. And then if that is taken, then that is going to be the last step into the pairing of Chaos and Empire. Which again is right here. So it'll go to Maw, and then if Maw is taken, then it will allow IC to be taken, because as you can see, Butcher's Pass has already been locked by order. So Butcher's Pass, which is Butcher's Pass, which is a dwarf pairing fortress for destruction, was conquered and taken by order earlier today. So that zone has been locked. So to open up city, you must have 2 fortresses captured for your faction. And that is, again, the basics of just how to navigate or how to understand the basics of map navigation. So again, this is only for tier 2 and higher. Tier 1 doesn't really have those issues. So again, tier 2 works this way. This is again using the dwarf. So whoever captures one of these keeps, it does not matter which keep is captured. It can be this keep or this keep. It does not matter in that regard. It will always go over to the tier 3 part. And then whoever wins that, again, does not matter. It will then always go to Thunder Mountain. Thunder Mountain is where it determines, does it go to Black Crag or does it go to KV? I hope that is a basic understanding guide to any new players who might not understand how to navigate the map system. If it does not help you, or if you need further assistance or clarification, or if there's any information that you want me to explain, please let me know, and I'll be happy to go over that with you some more. Maybe edit this video or make a secondary video if something was not cleared up or it just does not make sense to you.